is, running it down on these niggas.
Sex, drugs, money, and murder, my nigga. You know how we get it, my nigga. Still be painting them bitches, my nigga. Ripping that roll, fucking your bitches. Sex, drugs, money, and murder. 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 Niggas, they never gon' hurt you. Niggas, they never will hurt you. Sex, drugs, money, and murder. Sex, drugs, money, and murder.
Had the traps right, understand how to get that. Ran down on them niggas with a flip back. Knew I never seen none nigga live like that. I was still getting stacks back. Had to fuck around getting them packs back.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Bulletz Gotti. Well, this video right here is going to be about, I did a couple videos about, everything that's been going on. I touched on it. This video right here is basically talk about Jonathan Major's case, but I also want to break down the climate that's been going on since the Me Too movement has started, and all these cases that's been going on with concerning men and even black men. The black man has been targeted. Let's keep it real. By all across the board. Just look at Tory Lanez. Look at Jonathan Majors. Look at Puff. Look at R. Kelly. Look at many of these dudes that's being targeted. And Deshaun Watson, whoever you want to name, they're being targeted, man. When you're a successful black man, you're being targeted, man. And the thing I don't understand in the whole Jonathan Majors case, just like with the Tory Lanez case, right? Nobody looks at this man being the victim. They look at him because he's bigger and stronger and all this nonsense. But they don't look at the video that this man was running from this woman. This woman was assaulting him. This woman put her hands on him. This woman scratched him and everything. Assaulted him, right? But he's the one that's found guilty where she should have been charged for assault. But he's the one that was found guilty, and he was the one that was prosecuted. Highway robbery by Alvin Bragg. But you got to understand, when you have these SJW district attorneys, they have an agenda. The agenda is what it is. Look at what happened with Bill Cosby. Look at the agenda in that. Cuban Gooding Jr., Jamie Foxx. Look at the agenda with the whole Bill Cosby case. You got a prosecutor targeting Bill Cosby. You know what I'm saying? And then this Jonathan Majors case, this young guy, Jonathan Majors, was on the rise. From Lovecraft Country to the White Boy Rick movie to the Creed 3. He was having a great year with putting out a lot of great movies, right? And even with the whole Ant-Man series and him almost about to get his own series with Marvel. And for Marvel to cut ties with him was wrong. Why is it that they do this to every black man? Every time there's a scandal, they want to cut ties. They did this to Bill Cosby. They did this to R. Kelly. They did this to Tory Lanez. They did this to Puff. They do this to every black man. They always want to cut ties with us. They don't give us the benefit of the doubt. They don't want to rock with us, but they want us to continue. And the sad part is that black men don't have no allies. We don't have any allies because we're targeted all across the board. You know what I'm saying? This man should have never this case should have never went to trial. It should have never went to trial. Just off of what was shown in the video. Just off of him running from this woman and all the other things. But nobody has put that into the account that, wait a minute, something is wrong with this case. This wasn't a fair case. And it wasn't a fair case, because if it was a fair case, you would have seen that, it would have went, because if you really look at it, right, they cut ties with him right after the whole guilty verdict, right? They waited till it was a guilty verdict to cut ties. I mean, if he was found not guilty, would they cut ties? You know what I'm saying? But you waited to a guilty verdict to cut ties? All right? And the thing that I don't understand is, right, nobody's taking into account that this was a targeting situation, just like what I said about Bill Cosby, just like what I said about the Tory Lanez case. Look at Tory Lanez case. She was not shot, but everybody says she was shot in the foot. If you really look, the glass cut her foot. Nobody takes initiative that the witness, the original witness, said that it was a fight with the two females, and that the females was fighting over the gun, not Tory Lanez. But if Tory Lanez would have went on the stand, would he lose that case? No. But because he didn't go on the stand, he lost the case, and it was all it was a BS case. It was a BS case. You know, and now he's doing 10 years for a BS case. You know, his career was ruined by this woman. You know, and the same thing with this Jonathan Majors case. His career was ruined by a woman, all because of her looking in his phone with him texting another woman. You know what I'm saying? It's sad that this had to happen to this man, that he has to face a year in prison for some bullshit. I'm just being honest. Because it shouldn't. Because in my opinion, I felt that he should have never went to. I feel like he should not go to jail for something he didn't do. He didn't do anything. What did he do? Like, people make it seem like he did something, but they don't look at they don't take the initiative to look at the whole scenario, that he didn't do anything wrong. They don't look at the scenario that this woman was assaulting him. They just don't look at it. And it's just like with all these other cases that you see coming up, like even with this Puff thing, right? Nobody's taking the initiative to do the investigation at why is a liquor company paying for Cassie's lawyer and paying for these other females' lawyers? Why is that? Doesn't that remind you of that whole R. Kelly thing? Doesn't it remind you of Gloria Allred with all the cases that she was doing? Usher, Bill Cosby, Cuban Gooding Jr., a money shakedown, you know? And in this case here, this was all to destroy this man and to hurt his career. You know, the black man doesn't have any allies. We don't have any allies. We don't have anything, because if you really look at it, the black man's going to always be it's going to always be guilty until proven innocent. There's never going to be, it's not about him dating a white woman or him dating any type of woman. It's about, why is it that every time that we go to court and these cases come up, that nobody takes us the benefit of the doubt that we can be victims of abuse? This guy was being abused. He was being abused. You know what I'm saying? And his career was ruined by a woman that is going to move on, and she's going to be a starlet, and they're going to interview her and all this. But nobody's talking about that. Okay? And all these people, all these black women talk about, but he should have got him a black woman. What does that mean if he'd have got him a black woman? People forget that black woman lied on Tupac. A black woman lied on Tupac. Do people forget that Mike Tyson was lied on by a black woman? Robin Givens. And, you know, the whole fiasco in Indiana. So it's not about getting you a black woman or a white woman or whatever woman. It's about finding a woman that's supportive and that's not going to be vindictive and evil. This whole situation just shows you a woman could be vindictive and evil and ruin your whole career. He did nothing to this woman. But her jealousy and her insecurities ruined this man's career. And like I said, it's always the system against us. We're never looked at as a benefit of the doubt. It's always a system looking at us as the bad guys, as the villains. He was vilified. Jonathan Majors was vilified the whole time during this whole case was going on. He was vilified. His career, you know, they ruined his career. You know what I'm saying? Where Marvel cuts ties with him. The effed up thing about this whole situation is that, like, it's like even with the Tory Lanez situation, is that nobody gave it the benefit of the doubt. Like, when you look at the Tory Lanez case, in the original statement or the witness, he said that Tory Lanez did not have the hand on the gun. That it was the two females fighting over the gun. So it goes from the two females fighting over the gun to this man just picks up the gun and shoots this woman in the foot. Now, I know a lot of people that have gotten shot. And when you get shot, you're not going to be hopping on the ground. You're going to be screaming in pain. Especially if you got shot in your foot. You know? But when you listen to a lot of this and you see what's going on, it's an agenda. You know, it's an agenda to destroy every successful black man. Just look at what happened with Kobe. The man died, and then Gayle King gets on CBS Morning and just talks about Colorado. A case where the chick lied on him. Or Michael Jackson. Something that he did not do. Or with Prince. You know, they always wants to diminish a black man's character. They don't want to see us or uplift us. It's always to diminish him. And what happened to him was effed up. I felt that it was highway robbery and it was travesty of justice. You know, how can you, after all the evidence that was shown with all the videos that I've seen, this man was being, each video, he was being attacked. Each video. The video outside, when she's going in the Uber, she's chasing him. She's going to the club. This is somebody, you saying that she was assaulted, but she's going to the club. But the agenda is the black man is the target. And people would be like, well, white man is being targeted too. Yeah, they're being targeted too. Nobody's saying they're not being targeted. All men are being targeted. But the main objective and the main agenda is to go after black men. That's the main objective and the main agenda is to go after black men. You know? I remember when Bill Cosby was found guilty. And the people in the media on, what was it? MSNBC. And it was Tory, right? And he said, we need to go after R. Kelly next. At the time, R. Kelly, they wasn't even talking about R. Kelly. R. Kelly was, you know, they had the cult thing and everything, and it really wasn't talking about him. And then next thing you know, boom, January of 2019, surviving R. Kelly. And then he gets charges brought on him after a documentary, you know, which that was effed up. How do you convict a man and charge a man just off of a freaking documentary? And then the lawyer who was going after Trump and R. Kelly, Michael Avenatti, he gets charged for some effed up BS. Ain't that something? That's karma, ain't it? So, a lot of these cases, when you really take a look at it, it's an agenda. It's a political agenda to promote a movement. The black man is targeted by these women. And it's like we don't have any allies. Nobody's going to defend and call it out. The court system is not working in our favor. This is why when men talk about we being abused, they didn't care about him being abused. They cared about, well, this is a woman. He abused her. And we're taking this woman's side because he's a big black man. And he's stronger. Not looking at it as, hold on. But in this video, you don't see this woman was beating this man up. It's like with the Tory Lanez situation. Nobody took initiative to look at this woman was beating up on Tory Lanez. Okay, this woman was being aggressive. She was fighting all night. And not only that, nobody took initiative to say, wait a minute. Maybe Tory Lanez is the victim of this. Why are we not charging this woman? Because it was her fingerprints on the gun. There's 3 fingerprints on the gun. But they said, no, we're going to charge the Tory Lanez guy. So it's like, what is the sense of anything? You know what I'm saying? People talking about, oh, he should have never been dating a white woman and all that. What do that got to do with anything? Him dating a white woman. Look what happened to Nate Parker. Perfect example. Nate Parker was in college, was cleared of this. The girl lied, and she said she lied. Wrote a whole letter and said she lied before she committed suicide. But nobody took initiative to apologize to Nate Parker. They said, well, he was sexual assault when he was in college. Ruined this man's reputation, career, and hurt the success of his movie, Birth of a Nation. It's messed up what happened to Nate Parker. And the same thing is happening to Jonathan Majors is the same thing that happened to Nate Parker. Look what's happening to Cuban Gooding Jr. And then with Jamie Foxx, with this female saying what she's saying, this man was just in a coma, and then this woman comes out and say, well, Jamie Foxx sexually assaulted me. To me, it just bewilders me and it baffles me. Like, even what happened to O.J. Simpson. You know what I'm saying? Like, they know what happened to his wife, but they wanted to all put it on O.J. You know? And a lot of these things, it's like, it baffles and bewilders me how they're not taking the initiative to look at both sides. They're looking at one side. The media and all these people are looking at one side. Like I said, look what happened to Tupac. Look what happened to Mike Tyson. Look what happened to all these people. Everybody, to this day, Tupac's name has never been cleared of that case, which ruined his life and ruined him as a man. Mike Tyson has to this day, they still, when he did an interview, they still want to bring up that BS, which he didn't do anything to this girl. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like they're all just, they can't, to me, it's asinine. You know, it's very asinine. It's effed up. And it's wrong. Okay? Nobody could have looked at it and said, you know what, man? And what hurt me is that the community is not calling it out. The community's not calling it out. And for Marble to turn their back on him is fucked up. Why would you turn your back on this guy? You know, remember what happened to Martin. Look what happened to Martin, bro. You know, these things always happen. And nobody takes the black man's side. Look what's going on with Puff. All these women coming out, it's bullshit. But I tell people this all the time, man. What do you expect in this country, man? There's only one justice in this country. There's the white justice, and then there's the black justice. You know, there's so much of this going on that the Me Too movement was created to go after successful black actors. And in this day and age, man, like I tell y'all before, you know, it's getting more worse. It's getting more dirty. And it's a targeting. It's a targeting. And it's not only a targeting, but it's also, it just goes to show you that we don't get no real true justice. He didn't get no true justice. The black man is a target in this country. They want every successful black man in prison. Let's just keep it all the way real. The drug game is over. So now they want to put sexual assault, abusers, all this. You want to put black men in prison. So now, fuck the war on drugs. We going back to how we used to do them in the 90s. Put a trumped up case on them. It's just crazy to me. This man's career was ruined over overzealous female. And when black women keep saying that if he would have dated black, he's dating somebody that's black. I don't understand where that's coming from. He dating Meagan Good. So what is these women talking about if he'd have dated something black? Like, the thing is so asinine and crazy to me that these women don't look at the climate of, look what happened to all these successful people. Floyd Mayweather went to jail for the same shit, for abuse, right? Every successful black man, they put in an abuse case or they put in a sex trafficking case on him. It's no peace in this country, man, for black men, bro. I'm sorry, man. It's no peace. And I've done this video time and time again, but it just shows you every time that I have these conversations about this, the black man is a target. There's nothing changing with the justice system. We're a target to the justice system. Jonathan Majors is in jail right now just because of how he looks and who he was. And it's like, this case should have never went to criminal court. It should have never went, because it wasn't a criminal case. He was assaulted too. But they're taking it as, no, he's the villain. And it's foul. And it's not only black people that see it, but it's white people. It's a lot of people that see that this was foul. This man should have never been found guilty. Never. He should have never been found guilty. And the problem is that the mainstream media and Marvel was wrong to let him go. To turn your back on somebody that had the biggest box office smash movie, and you were going to do a whole movie with this guy, and y'all turn y'all backs on him without riding it out. Y'all turned his backs on him, knowing that he was a victim of this situation. If you watch the video, the man was running for his life from this woman. But I already knew it was going to be some bullshit. I already knew. Looking at the climate, looking at from these last couple of years, with this whole thing, look at what happened to it when black women say, oh, well, black women ain't going to do that. That's a lie. Because look at what happened to Brian Banks. A black woman lied on him, and that man spent years in prison when he never sexually assaulted this girl. So miss me with that. Dismiss me with that. It's just sad that we're in a matriarchal society, and they're going to push the feminist agenda in this country. Since the Me Too movement came out in 2014, that's been the agenda. That's been the agenda. Okay, and the Me Too movement is not only about sexual assault and sexual harassment, but they use that against abuse and all of that. So you saw what happened to Chris Brown. Chris Brown went to jail, had a career was ruined. He was blackballed for a second, you know, and his career was he took a hit, you know, he took a hit. And really and truly, if you really look at his career and you really look at that situation, he didn't put his hands on Rihanna. Rihanna was putting her hands on him first. But they didn't care. They pointed fingers at him. You hit her. Not knowing that this one was beating on him. So, you know, it is what it is, man. You know, we're dealing in a country, man, where we don't get a fair shake, man. We don't get a fair shake, bro. We don't get a fair shake. You know, my prayers go out to Jonathan Majors. My prayers go out to a lot of these brothers, Tory Lanez, and all these brothers that's going through what they're going through with these type of cases. It's like these men are not getting a puff. None of them are not getting a fair shake. Puff gets released from Hulu. Instead of them saying, you know what? Let's wait it out. They let him go. It's what it is.